Ladies and gentlemen, after the 30th reincarnation, we are born again, and you're here to see us squeeze out of a hyena. James Wilson, John Farmer. I was just thinking podcasts. Like, subscribe, you know the deal. Hit that thing. And we missed an episode. There was a unfortunate incident that happened, and with the events that have occurred, we decided to skip a week. So we're back.
I had a family emergency. It was actually on the day I was coming over here to do the episode. I was like, shit.
Yeah.
But I'm okay. So
this week will be just twice as good. So
we're funny.
Please don't unsubscribe. Oh man. So what you had going on today?
Not much. I took a break today because my back needed it. I didn't do nothing. I've been helping a little bit down there, clearing out my aunt's house.
Yeah.
Because my aunt passed away. That's what happened. Just make that clear. But besides that, work's been kicking my ass, so I didn't do shit today. It's been a hell of a week, man. And I still went to see Sammy Hagar on Tuesday.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it kicked
How
ass.
was that?
It kicked ass, man.
Did you know more songs than you thought you were going to?
I know a few of the songs, like This Can't Be Love.
Yeah,
and of course 55. I know that from Back to the Future. 55.
Man, I've been jamming to that song for about almost 30 years
he kicked
now.
ass. They sounded good. He was playing with some famous people like Joe Satriani.
Oh shit!
He's regarded as one of the best guitar players ever.
I've seen commercials for him. Like he does the instructional CDs and shit too.
He filled in for Eddie Van Halen. It was pretty cool. They played some Van Halen songs. It was rocking. But Loverboy opened up for him, if you know who that is. They sounded okay.
What is I only know one down
They
there,
were just getting old to working for the weekend.
Everybody's working. That's the day of Saturday Night Live. You remember the Saturday Night Live with fucking Chris Farley?
Love that song. They sounded all right. It was fun. But yeah, they're getting kind of old and it's kind of sad. But I went with my dad. He bought these tickets months ago. And he's now addicted to going to that Ameris Bank amphitheater. Yeah. So we're going to see Third Eye Blind next weekend.
Really?
We're going to see Live and Stone Temple Pilots in August.
Now, do you think, it seems to be going away, these long-term, bands, very popular, do you think, for example, Morgan Wallen, do you think, 30 years from now, he's still going to be doing, the shit they're doing? I'm 70 years old now, but I'm doing some farewell tour for the next 2 years.
That's a good question. Is he going to be selling out arenas? Is he going to be like the Rolling Stones or something, selling out arenas?
Yeah.
Tickets are $300.
But that doesn't seem to really be a thing anymore. 10 years from now, you're not going to see Ariana Grande. It's just an era type thing, and then just new bands. There aren't these, White Snake still fucking touring, I think. I mean, just all these old bands that are still touring and still making it, but it doesn't seem like today, that's going to carry on. It's just going to be this little time period where you're hot, and then, fuck y'all, who's new? And just flushing people out,
Well, that's a good point. It'll probably change for that.
Yeah.
In the future, once more of this 70s, this 20th century classic rock, once that starts to fade out with the older generation, that's sad. That's sad to think about. But yeah, you're probably right.
Yeah.
Once all that fades
it's
out.
going to become like your TikToks. Here, 6 seconds. 1 second.
But
I mean, just no longevity.
yeah, I've also found interesting the nostalgia for all the different decades. Like, I guess, 80s is a big nostalgia decade right now that we all love.
Yeah.
90s too.
Bring back the windbreakers.
I mean, it's a weird time. It's a weird time for us, considering like came at the end. Well, we were like teenagers at the internet age begun. We like know both lives. We know a little bit of the boomer and the generation, whatever it is after that.
Yeah.
We lived it. Now 2050 is closer than what 1990 is. Is that correct?
We're 26 years from 50. So yeah, 90s. Fuck. That's all.
2050 is closer than to now than 1990 was.
Man, that's
yeah.
I always said I'm excited to see where it goes.
Times are changing.
Like, yeah, I mean, we from damn one phone in the house in the kitchen.
Oh yeah.
This cord, you had to stand there and talk in the phone.
It had the long cord. That's right.
And then yeah, once they gave us the long cord, it was game on. We could walk all through the kitchen because usually the phone was in the kitchen because that's where you were most of the time.
Yeah.
And people spend, I think they said it's like 60% of their time or so. I'm just recalling here. My recollections even suck. So, but I thought it was about 60% of your time in the household is usually in the dining or kitchen area.
Yeah, for me it'd be kitchen, living room for sure for my family.
So yeah, the phone would go there, and you had to go and talk.
It was on the wall in the kitchen. I remember when we didn't need area codes.
Yeah, yeah.
That was strange. Like, why didn't we need area codes? Like, there was just not many phone numbers. That's crazy. We didn't need area codes back then.
No, there's just not that many people. Because when I grew up, I was thinking about it the other day. There's more people going to Silver City Elementary School District. There's more people in the school district than there were in the area I grew up in. Maybe the county. But yeah, the county I grew up
now?
Yeah, I mean, there's more and more, but but the area code is more of a that's more of a area based, like what do you call it, ring, and so it just would affect everybody in this one area. So that's why even towns with maybe 100 people or whatever would still have to do the area code.
Yeah, that was a foreign concept to me. I think I was like 10 years old or so. But yeah, I remember using the phone on the kitchen wall.
You ever use a payphone? You ever had to pull over and actually get change
I've
somewhere?
ever actually had to use a payphone. I just didn't use them when I was a kid. By the time I was 16, we already had good cell phones, like flip phones, Singular and Nokia.
Yeah, I remember.
No, I've never had the opportunity or the need to use a payphone, but I'm not unfamiliar with them. Yeah. Superman would go in there and change clothes real quick and fly out through the roof.
I remember there was a couple times pulling over some shady areas. A buddy of mine lived in Macon at the time, Macon, Georgia, which is even worse now than it was then somehow. And yeah, I had to pull over at this little gas station, a little convenience store. And some people look at me, I'm like, hey man, now you got to call his pager with the number because he had a cell phone.
The pager.
So you have to dial the number on the pager, then he'd call that phone number back. I'm like, hey man, where are you? Oh, third left, then take the first right and give you like
Yeah.
Because there wasn't no cell phone on GPS, so I mean it'd be.
How did people get around back in the day with no GPS?
You end up in shady areas. Hey man,
Still, like,
pick up the phone.
like I said, this generation, our generation's like on the cusp of this dawn of technology age. Everyone started using that Garland or like those GPS units on the dashboard maybe when I was like 13, 14 years old.
Yeah.
And then after that, the iPhones with the GPS probably when I was 17 years old.
What's the name of the one?
BlackBerry.
Tom.
Yeah, TomTom and Garland.
Yeah, that was the first one I saw.
Started
was the
getting
TomTom.
those GPSs on the dashboard, and it's like started to become a thing. Then they started coming standard in cars. Now they're on smartphones. I don't see how we still got around when I was a kid, but I don't see how people got around when I was a kid. Looking at maps and shit. Like,
yeah,
like it's fucking pirate maps. See, that baffles me. And like pizza delivery, how the hell did they do that without GPS, dude?
Well, I delivered pizza for a little bit. It was like a second job because of the tip money. I could work 3-4 nights a week and have a couple extra $100 to them.
Yeah.
To get fucked up. But yeah, the dude had like a little map book or whatever of Byron, and I would have to say, okay, if it's a place I didn't know, he said, well, it's around here. Then eventually you start learning because I mean it's only so many streets in a small town, but yeah, you just had to mark it out on the map. And
that actually reminds me, when I worked at Lenny's Subs, I would drive for catering a lot. I prefer driving and delivering because I could hang out in the car and chill and take my time getting there and say I'm being careful. But no, I would have to use MapQuest going down to Atlanta and Buckhead area, delivering platters of sandwiches. They'd print out the MapQuest for me beforehand. Never had a problem with it, but I would have like maybe 2 or 3 pages just on my on my seat, like, oh, which one was it? They didn't fucking staple this, damn it. Yeah, that brings me back. Yeah, but a few years after that, I started, using my smartphone. Yeah, I delivered pizzas to use my smartphone all day for that.
I remember the first time it was in New York. Loaded something. It was so easy. I had a BlackBerry.
Yeah, that's like the original smartphone, what I hear. Like before the iPhone, shortly before the iPhone. Yeah, you could check
it. It was the email, everything was coming through.
It was short-lived, but it was kind of like revolutionary at the time.
Yeah.
I never had one, but yeah.
But yeah, you could do cool. the little game of deep, 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 deep. I played the shit out of that on the subway. Right there.
That's what I like about smartphones. I just like playing the old arcade games like Star Blaster, Pac-Man, Tetris. You just have all of those on your phone. And it's super fun. I don't play like the Candy Crush or nothing. I like to play. I play the old school stuff.
I'm a Candy Crush. Candy Crush dude. I'm like the level like 1200 and something.
Jeez Louise.
Well, I sit there. I mean, especially in the toilet. I'm guaranteed 5-6 levels on the toilet every time.
Oh my god. You must be leveling up pretty easy. That's cool.
But I did have this one tablet one time that had you could do like I forget what it's called, but almost like a Call of Duty game. And so it was cool shit, but
yeah, I couldn't do that with like an actual controller. Yeah, it's weird.
I was playing that on the subway too.
It's weird.
There. It's like a damn 17-inch screen. Oh.
Yeah, I can't do that. I like a big screen.
I'm a big man. I need a big screen. So yeah.
Technology's changing.
Yeah.
I see. You got some notes there.
Yeah, let me The warm mountains, global warming has hit these mountains.
It's real.
Yeah, man. So today, or
Today. What's today?
Sunday. I mean Friday morning.
Friday
Coming to you
morning,
live. It's 12:01
midnight.
on your AM dial.
Yeah.
It's
What's today? What's on your agenda for today?
Oh, okay. This weekend we went out to eat, and I've been trying to cut back on the portions a little bit. So I was like, you know what? I need to get a box, a to-go box, to take it home with me. And I think we got about a 70% hit rate of actually if there's a chance, or a 30% chance we might actually eat it again. But we always take it home. We feel obliged to take the shit home. So that was on mine. I said, if you took leftovers home from a restaurant, or even if you cooked it, how often do you actually eat them?
Yeah. Well, when I bring leftovers home from a restaurant, I always eat them. If I spend restaurant money, I'm getting my whole money's worth. Even if it's like cold later on or heated up in the microwave, I definitely always eat my restaurant leftovers. But there's just some leftovers you make for dinner that just aren't worth leftovering. But you store them anyway. You can't just throw them out when they're fresh. You put them in the fridge.
Oh yeah,
for a
it's
while
gotta be past that 3-day mark. Yeah. You gotta.
Hey, if I make something good for dinner, like lots of stuff, maybe some spaghetti. If there's lots of stuff. Yeah, I'll take some leftovers for lunch the next day. Because I'm trying to cut back on portions too, and trying to save money at the same time. So
Yeah.
More leftovers for me at lunch. I can't say I enjoy it the most, though. But you spend so much money going out every day. If I went out,
I mean, especially now.
Yeah, man.
$17 a meal. I mean, you fucking go spend $50 a day in food.
Yeah.
Easy.
That's about what I'd be doing if I, went out for breakfast and lunch. Like, got breakfast on my way to work and went out for lunch. Yeah, it'd be about $50 a day.
Now,
Fuck
do you cook in anticipation of leftovers and say, you know what, maybe if I doubled it, I'll have 4 days worth of lunches?
Yeah.
So when you're cooking, you accommodate for.
Yeah, if I have more, I would make more, so there's more leftovers. So
I don't know if
have enough to eat the next day. You save some money, man.
Yeah.
Save some calories.
Calories. But yeah, so that was what was on my mind right there. I was like, man, you know what? I wonder if that's normal to just, like I said, you wait 3 days and throw the shit away.
In my experience, like, if I do anything like that, it's normal. If I'm doing something or observe something, then 100 other million people do it too.
Yeah.
We're pretty normal. We're not no Jeffrey Dahmer and no shit like that.
I wanted 5 guys.
Not 5 guys.
Well, hold on.
Silver bullet.
Silver bullet, man. Tell you what. Well, earlier you mentioned, I think something about Superman, right?
Yeah, he crashes through the phone booth roof.
Yeah.
No, I guess he uses the door because he's nice.
So, yeah, I mean, if you had obviously, I think Superman's he's like impenetrable, runs faster than shit, and can fly. I mean, I don't know. He's got the laser vision. He's kind of like the dude on The Boys, you know.
Man, I'm watching that new season. It's a lot of dicks and buttholes.
Really?
But it's still good. The butthole thing was comedic, like, and really brief. It didn't, like, show just the guy walking around with the butthole out. But, like,
hey, everybody!
But, like, I was just like, ah, it's like, son of a bitch. And then there's the naked guy multiplying himself, and his dick's hanging out the. Well, he's naked because he multiplies. He can't multiply the clothes.
You know,
there's like 12 dicks running around the screen, all fighting Billy Butcher.
So I heard a question one time. So you know, if you could clone yourself or multiply yourself, would it be gay if you had sex with yourself, or would that be considered masturbation?
Man, you make a clone of yourself.
And then
that's two people.
Yeah.
Let's use logic here. You make a clone. Anyone makes a clone of themselves. That is now two people, two minds.
Yeah.
And if they were to have intercourse, that is sex. And if it's the same sex, it is gay. It doesn't matter if if it's a clone of yourself, because you're still like have another person. Yeah, that's gay if you clone yourself and bang them.
You think there'll ever be?
Who would do that? Like, I'm not going to clone myself.
This makes you think there might be a market one day for stealing people's clones, and I mean, I guess they do it nowadays, so I wouldn't be surprised. I don't know. Yeah, I don't think I'd... Actually, if you... Let's say somebody you were cloned and nobody knew, and you were walking down like a mall or some shit, just a casual fucking environment or whatever, and you pass a clone of yourself, you didn't know you had a clone, would you recognize yourself?
Yeah.
Do you think you would
be like, what the fuck?
Looks just like me. I always want to. I said, man, I don't know if I'd recognize myself. I'd be like, oh,
dude, that would trip me the fuck out. But yeah, I think I would recognize myself. That's pretty intense. That would trip me out. That would freak out.
You just both be looking like.
It's like me from an alternate reality. I've heard weird stories about that, like doppelgangers and shit. Ghost doppelgangers. It's really weird. There's this show called Dark Matter on Apple TV. It's about like parallel universes, and the same guy goes through different worlds. Yeah. And it's pretty cool, but yeah, there's like multiple people, and that's what happened. He like sees himself like, motherfucker. But yeah, it was a good show. It's on Apple. You should check it out.
Why didn't anybody tell me I'd look so stupid?
No, it's this guy just wears sweaters and overcoats in every universe. Yeah, and he chases himself and shit. Pretty cool show. But I think I do believe in parallel universes, alternate realities, higher dimensions, man.
Yeah, I think there's the possibility of it is not out of the realm, because there is some crazy shit that we don't even understand. We haven't even begun to understand. I mean, there's just shit out there that nobody knows.
But if I were to see a clone of myself, I don't know what would first come to mind. Like, you see a ghost or something, or you're tripping balls, or someone cloned you. And now the clone's walking
somebody
around.
Just fucking
or would you think, alternate reality ghost me is looking at me?
This motherfucker cloned me.
I don't know. I might think like the ghost of me is like from alternate realities, usually invisible, but he's on our spectrum of light right now, and I'm gonna look at him. But I don't know what my first thought would be.
It could be. You almost think like maybe that's a different scenario that's being played for somebody else that just It could have been me, but it's playing out for that me instead. So it may be, like you said, maybe like two dimensions. That in another dimension, I'm doing something completely different and walking with this person, and who knows how I got there. But if I would have fell in that realm of the whatever the parallels, then I would have been doing that. Instead, in my dimension, I'm doing this, and we just somehow cross paths. And
Yeah. All the different possibilities, they say, spans out into different realities, and those span out, which is kind of like what's on the show Dark Matter on Apple TV Plus. Now a subscription for $7.99. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know how much Apple is, but it's all right. They got some cool stuff. Science, bro. I love sci-fi and all that, you know.
Yeah, I like the I like stuff like that, like the shit Terrance Howard. Do you see with Terrance Howard? Excuse me.
Who was Chris was playing some of that. It was awkward as fuck. Someone at my work was talking about it too, but seeing him on Rogan, it was like super awkward, and like Joe and some expert in physics where they were just trying to work with him there. He's trying to agree with him and tell Terrance like how to be more presentable with it.
Yeah, I saw clips of like a white dude, old like professor looking kind of guy.
Yeah, they were kind of just feeding into his thoughts, but like telling him to slow down, take it easy with the presenting it to everyone. And I was just like, is this dude crazy? I mean, I don't know, dude.
But saying basically is everything is the root of everything is sound, or
the root of everything is frequency. Yeah. Sound, like bass, it's very low frequency. The wave is kind of like straight almost.
Yeah.
Once the waves start becoming faster, they get more frequent, like blah, 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 blah. Once they start getting closer together, it becomes light, visible, or not visible light. It becomes light, makes things, visible.
Yeah.
And I think, that's all related.
I used to, my degree is, I work with fiber optics. And, excuse me. And the basic concept of that is every color has a frequency.
Mm-hmm. That's weird.
So red just so happens to be if I say it was like 990 nanometers. And that's just how the beam of it. And if you...
I've heard red is like the longest one.
Well, that's what they carry data on. So fiber optic lines is nothing but a beam of light.
Yeah.
Being shot like this, and it bounces inside, like it comes in at an angle and just bounces like this all the way down. That's why you can't bend it too sharp, because then it starts bouncing like this and absorbing into the sides. I mean, it has to be enough where it'll bounce. But I mean, that's what the fiber optic that's carrying 10 gigs to your house is just all this information being put in a beam of
it's
light.
It's interesting and it's pretty complex, but like even when we're talking about light, we're not necessarily talking about a beam of light through the clouds in the sun. We're talking about the reality that we see, the light that reflects off everything and how our eyes perceive it. It's very interesting. And there are still like higher frequencies. There's stuff we can't see. There's probably undiscovered colors.
Well, that's one of the things Terrance Howard's talking about on the show. He's like, you know what? He said, we can't. He said, it's kind of like you have to kind of imagine like it could be the possibility, because he was like, we can only see like only like 5% of the available light spectrum, or whatever the case may be. He said, this all this right here that we don't even understand, because we can only...
Yeah, same with our brains. We're only able to, use like a certain amount of it.
Yeah.
They say like the frontal cortex, you may be able to perceive stuff better if you could access that more.
Yeah.
But I just don't think we're evolved enough to do that. But, it's weird.
Yeah.
It's all pretty crazy. But when Terrance Howard says, like, I figured all this out in the womb, man. I figured all this out when I was in my mama's belly. I was on a calculator the whole time. Yeah, Joe and that professor guy are just like, you need to tone that shit down, dude. But he's a fucking actor. Why is he, like, trying to be a breakthrough physicist, theoretical physicist all of a sudden?
Well, that's what he said. He said he acts like that, and just somebody, hey, you want to do this thing? And he said the acting sort of just came somehow, but he was already studying shit.
He's a great fucking actor.
Yeah.
I first saw him in Big Mama's House. He was the bad guy.
I remember, you ever seen movie 43?
Yes, the hockey coach.
Yeah.
That was in the
We're gonna kill them motherfuckers.
That was in the commercial for the movie too, where he's just like, "You are black. This ain't hockey." Oh wait, the basketball coach. I got that backwards.
He got a 12-inch stick. Dribble with that motherfucker.
It's like they have a team of white boys. You were a foot taller than all of. Yeah, dude, that movie was so raunchy and cool.
Yeah. Oh.
And I love how they had like all the biggest stars.
It was. Yeah.
I can't believe these people agreed to that shit. I seen the movie once and it was fucking hilarious.
Yeah, I love Jason Sudeikis. He's like looking at it. He's like, "Oh my god, she's got an incredible beaver." She's like, "I can see you, right?" He's like, "Oh." I'm going to do some Batmaning.
Man, that's funny.
But
yeah, I need to go back watching that movie.
But
man.
Speaking of superhero, if you had a superpower, if you could pick it, like almost like on The Boys, they almost seem to have an influence over what kind of power they have, I think. But if you could pick your superpower, what?
Well, we're running short on time. So the power, real quick though, the power I pick is to have all the powers I want.
Like a Thanos type deal?
Yeah, like a Superman thing, I can fly, super strength, laser beams, x-ray vision, the works. I want the works, man. If I could only choose one. I don't know, that's hard, man. I guess maybe super strength. Or just fly around.
How are we looking on time?
We crossed our usual mark.
Alright.
These podcasts are pretty short.
Well, I think next time what we do, because I want to find out if you would use your superpowers for good, or what would you, or would you be like, we talking about The Boys and just
The Boys
fucking shit up.
The Boys season 4 out now, Amazon Prime.
Hashtag. All right, we'll get in that next time. We good
cool. Yeah, that's cool.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I know your sack is completely empty from the pure enjoyment that you've experienced right here watching us two. And that is why you need to come back, smoke a cigarette, join back in next Friday. We'll see you then. John Farmer, James Wilson, peace.